Okay, so we're ready to think about raking out the existing joints. As you can see, this is a little bit untidy, so we're going to make this look a bit neater. So we're going to rake out the mortar. Now, it's really important that when you do this, we have to take out the old mortar in order for the new mortar to fit in and bed in nicely. So you need to rake out this mortar, and it's got to be a minimum of 10 millimetres deep, probably to a maximum of 15 millimetres. If it's shallower than 10 millimetres, the chances are that when you repoint it during the winter, it's gonna peel out and come out. So it's got to have a good area to key into. It's important that the joint is fully raked out. You don't want any debris in there, especially dust, because again, the new mortar you're going to put in there just isn't going to stick. The danger of going too deep when you're raking out is, as you'll see when we do the repointing, it can be quite difficult to fill the mortar joint. So if you go too deep, you might find yourself leaving a void behind, and again, that could lead to more problems than you're actually solving. So we're gonna start with the plug-in chisel. So again, with the plug-in chisel, you can see it's a nice flat blade, and that's because it fits in the nice 10mm joint. And you can see that there's a chamfer on the plug-in chisel. So that goes into the joint, and as I hit with the chisel, it slides across and it should pull the joint out. Now, if the wall of the joint is relatively soft, then this is an option you can use. Obviously, we'll go over the grinder in a minute. But basically, you pop the plug-in chisel in there. Oh, hang on. Obviously, I need to put my safety glasses on first. And I'm going to put a mask on. I'm not going to be creating a terrific amount of dust, but silica dust and mortar dust is quite dangerous. So it's better to take the precautions than put the mask on. So we'll do that. So on the mask, you just pinch in the nose. There's a little strip on there just to make it airtight around your face, which is really important. And we've got the goggles, so now we're ready to go. So again, so what I'll do, I'll bring the camera a little bit closer. So you can see there that we've started to take the mortar joint out using the plug-in chisel. There's no mortar at the top of the joint and at the bottom of the joint, and we've gone in a really decent thickness there. All that'll be left to do is to clean the dust out of that joint, but I'll show you how we do that in a minute. Because now we're going to do the fun bit. We're going to use the angle grinder. So obviously the dust mask is absolutely a priority in this instance. So we'll get the dust mask on first. Again, making sure it's a nice tight snug fit. Now, when you're holding the angle grinder, you've got to be confident, okay? Don't be tentative and fearful of it. This is a really good, long, it's a little bit different to the older grinders that certainly Makita used to do. It's got quite a long body, so it's more balanced, so it's quite sturdy to hold. And again, the handle on the side is vitally important. It does unscrew. It could come around the other side if you're left or right-handed, but please don't try and operate an angle grinder without this in place. It's there for your safety, to give you the ultimate stability whilst holding it. So I'm going to start it up, and you've just got to try and hold it steady and follow the mortar joint. If you're a little bit wavy with it, you could end up taking chunks out the brick. So it is a delicate process, but once the blade's in the joint, it pretty much guides itself. And as long as you're nice and steady it's not going to make any chunks out of brick. So again, if we go a little bit closer, you can now see that I've taken the joint out there all the way around. I've done the cross joints, what we call the perp joints, and you've just got to make sure you've got everything out. You might need to go at it with the plug-in chisel after to just get any of the debris out, but then once you've done the whole wall, you're then ready to think about the repointing. So I mentioned at the start that it's really vital that you get all the debris and dust out, and one of the easiest methods is once you've got it all ground out, to get a hose pipe watering can and just literally go in the joints, and you'll see all the debris and the muck run down the wall, and that will have freed everything up. Now when we come to do the repointing, these are a Cheshire Common, so they're really porous, and it's not too sunny today, so it's not too bad. But if it was a hot day, you can see already this water's been absorbed into the brickwork. As this video goes on a bit longer, you'll see it just drying out in front of your eyes. And that causes a problem when you're repointing, because you'll have your mortar mixture, you'll put it in, and before you know it, it'll be going off because the brickwork's taking all the moisture out of the mortar. So you might have to continually dampen this down to make it easier to do the repointing. Other types of brick you would put nowhere near any water on it at all, because the newer bricks are probably a little bit more harder fired, and therefore they repel the water rather than absorb it, so you could be creating yourself a problem. But that's just experience, knowing what types of bricks and materials you're using. So we're sort of ready now, so I'll get some mortar and I'll show you how we do the repointing.